Okay, people. In this video, it should be short. There's not much to say about this video. It's pretty much self explanatory. But I'm still going to make some comments. Here is, and actually, I showed this to HR many years ago up in probation. She laughed and actually showed, actually, months after one of the newer ones got hired. I've never actually mentioned her. To be honest, I forgot her name. I know she's very tall. Well, let me not say that because maybe describing her height might also be offensive somehow. The point is, of this picture that I found it online years ago. I mean, I laughed at it, and now maybe it's not that funny because I've seen a lot of coworkers lose their jobs because of something this silly. And again, I know we guys need to do better. I know we also, make mistakes, and serious ones as well. But I think once again, women should also be held accountable to, I guess, their own perceptions or so-called perceptions or their consistency when it comes to what's appropriate or inappropriate. Just by looking, at this image at the top, you see it says know the work rules. Now, of course, this applies to all sexes and anything else that that we've invented after that. But it's interesting how Susan or Susie, in this picture, despite the fact that the rules are the rules, any comment of description, I guess, of the appearance of people is offensive. Personally, I think it's ridiculous. That is offensive. It's really in the eye of the beholder. But to me, traditionally, for hundreds and thousands of years, it was normal to compliment a person, for their looks, for their intelligence, for their height, for their achievements, for whatever. But nowadays, you have to be careful, in today's upside down world, because I keep saying it's upside down. It's not normal. It's an unnatural world. We accept the unnatural, but the natural or normal we have condemned. But going back to the picture, despite the fact that everybody at work knows the rules, again, it is sweet to her. Look how she responds. Oh, you're sweet. And what did he say? Looking good, Susan. Now, if you go to the bottom picture, the other guy says the exact same thing. And he probably just overheard the guy above say that. And he's like, hey, what did Susan do? Maybe she got a new haircut. Maybe she got a new dress. I don't know. And maybe he saw, hey, she has a new haircut. She looks pretty today. And he repeated the exact same words. Looking good, Susan. And what's the reaction of the female or Susan? Totally different. Totally different. Now, why? Why totally different? They are the exact same words. Looking good, Susan. What is the difference between one guy and the other? Let's think, people. What is the difference? Well, we all know here the hypocrisy that some people or some women have. See, when the guy is the guy that she likes and it's attractive, it's okay there. But when the guy is a little overweight, a little nerdy, well, he's a creep now. What he did was horrendous. Even though it's the exact same phrase, the exact same behavior. Only that one looks attractive, the other one doesn't. In a scenario of this nature, I think that the most logical, I can use logical with women, the most consistent emotional response, let me put it that way, should be Okay, you don't like the guy? Just respond accordingly and say, uh, again, men can read body language. Look at her body language up top. You know, she's responding with, looking at him back. She's mesmerized and she's looking at him with those, with those um, enlightened eyes. At the bottom, she's reacting totally different. She did not have to go to that extreme. Of course, most women don't do this. I'm going to be honest. Most women do not react quickly to call human resources over something so simple. Most women don't do that. So, you can't blame all women. But it only takes one to get you in trouble. And I've seen that a lot through the years. Um, I think Susie, what she should have done, technically, what she should have done is responded to both equally. Not say necessarily, oh, you're sweet, or call human resources, but just be neutral. Because again, again, it's up here. Know the work rules. She knows that those words from Chad, from good looking, are inappropriate. So she should respond, consistently within the work rules and his comment. Same thing down here. So basically, she should have treated both the same way because both comments are inappropriate. But up here, what makes it appropriate is he looks good and maybe she likes him. You look at the little heart here. What makes it inappropriate? The poor guy is out of shape. He's nerdy looking. But, she's there she's scared. For the same exact phrases, the same exact words. She likes it here, but she doesn't like it there. All she had to do, again, ideally, this is ideally, respond equally to both in a neutral sense. She shouldn't be saying you're sweet or going to that extreme, unless, obviously, if he's very persistent and truly making you feel uncomfortable. But once again, they have to be consistent. You guys have to be consistent. And this could apply to both men, women, and anything else that we've invented out there and we've and accepted. Again, we have to be consistent at this. So basically, she could have just said thank you, and that's it. Up here to Chad, and down here, thank you. Right here to creepy or out of shape. Same response. They will both understand that, well, she said thank you, but she said it in a slightly cold way, which again gives out the message we should not be referring to each other in such language. Or what you just said is technically inappropriate, but I'm being nice. And again, both of them, both, if we want to be morally consistent to the work rules, which we're not, including HR, they're not consistent with their own rules. Again, that's why I call them hypocrites and pigs, because that's the reality. And a lot of people know this. A lot of people at that workplace know that the hypocrisy there, the inconsistency that they have, with their so-called rules. They only use them or need them to target people. But again, this picture says it all. This picture clearly shows that in the case of many women, not all, those inappropriate words are accepted. Again, inappropriate words, because in both cases they're inappropriate. In both. Again, consistency, people here. Consistency. And this applies in the opposite direction. If a woman compliments a guy for his shirt or his haircut or whatever, same thing. The guy should consistently respond according to what? The known work rules. Because that's the only way we're really going to fix this problem. Consistency. But if Susie sleeps with Chad, but obviously rejects out of shape guy, because Susie, maybe she's known for for being happy at work. Maybe she's known by many guys how her bedroom looks. I know of people like that at U.S. District Court. I know of women and men, because again, men, you guys are not that innocent either. But the point is, if Susie has given off that image of her, that reputation of hers, to many people, guess what? Somebody also wants to be part of the game. So if she eventually had something with him, an affair of some kind, whether they're single or not, again, U.S. District Court doesn't care about that. When it comes to this guy, he's gonna want to be part of the game because he found out, well, she's been with Chad and Bob and Bill and whatever. Again, there's no consistency. No consistency. This is double standard. It's hypocrisy. Inconsistence. And this is something HR does not see. They're blind. Again, like I mentioned in one of the other articles, that the female behavior when it comes to this precise scenario, it's understudied. Well, HR, you got a lot of learning to do. Reps, experts in the matter, you have a lot of learning to do. Unfortunately, there's not much material out there for you to learn from. You might want to request that from the federal powers above you, and that way you can actually be consistent, and that way you can fire both here, Mr. Creepy, and also fire Mr. Handsome. And when Pretty Susie might say the same thing, hey Chad, nice haircut, or looking good, Chad, she should also get removed. Just like here. I mean, obviously she's not going to compliment anything, say anything good about him. But if she says, oh, he's fat and ugly, she too should be fired for inappropriate description of this guy's image. Again, she too should be fired for inappropriate comments towards somebody that's unattractive and creepy. And if she comments that to her friends or other female whatever, again, where's the consistency? So once again, this is my investigation, my findings, my recollections, and anybody with half a brain. Again, all you need is half a brain. You can, the other half, you can use it for something else. But you just use half a brain and you will realize that what I am saying is very truthful and factual. There's no consistency here. Technically, what Chad did, or good looking, that's bad. That's inappropriate. It should not be appropriate. And what he did is also inappropriate. Because if his is appropriate, then his should also be appropriate. But we all know that when you have, females in positions of power, they don't know how to use it because their emotions, as you can see here, their emotions get involved. And again, HR is third party. They're not necessarily Susie here. But their emotions will also get involved. I know that for a fact. I know that. Believe me, I know that. So once again, let's use at least human resources, at least half. Well, no, you guys need your whole brain to actually be able to kind of achieve something. Because again, if with your whole brain you haven't been consistent and intelligent in your decisions, no, that was a bad idea for me to suggest have a brain. But you guys know what I mean. Once again, here is pure evidence. I don't know who created this picture. I'm pretty sure that the person that created this picture had a similar experience. Who knows if it was this guy that created this image? And he said, but this other guy, he said the same thing I did, but I got in trouble. Years ago maybe. The picture looks like it's from the 80s or 90s. I don't know. The point is that no consistency. And you cannot accept this comment from the good guy and then reject it from the not so good guy. Because again, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, more HR lies when it comes to their own policies, even when it's consensual. Right here, this is consensual, it's still inappropriate. And if a third person is watching that and seeing that she liked what Chad said or did, that third person should report it to HR. Again, should. Just like here too. If she got creeped out, and you're a witness, same thing. Let's be consistent. Something HR, U.S. District Court of Puerto Rico and Probation do not have. Believe me, they don't. They're a mess. Again, to me, they are the anus department because what they teach is feces. I don't want to say the word. Because again, if there's no consistency, then you really don't have a moral or a just environment. Because in this case, HR contributes to the toxic workplace, to this toxic environment, when you don't enforce equally your own rules. So technically, HR The reason why that environment is toxic is because HR is not doing their job. They're not doing a good job. Printing IDs is not enough, or doing paperwork is not enough. You have to be consistent when it comes to the moral rules or policies or canons that you supposedly have. I mean, I know you have them in writing, but in the real world, they don't exist. They only exist to target the few you just don't like anymore or want to remove. But once again, look at the image. You guys will probably find more details than what I've found, but you guys get the point. Again, it takes very little intelligence to see what's going on. In case of HR, maybe in federal levels, it takes a lot more intelligence for them to maybe one day understand their stupidity and their ignorance. Sad to say. Well, till next time.